This is the Illimitable Experience podcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Illimitable Experience podcast. If you're watching this video, like this video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel. We are posting great content regularly. With that, today we have as our guest an aspiring solicitor, Aniket Rajani. Hi Aniket, how is it going?
Hello, Manan. I'm great. How are you doing? Thank you for inviting me here.
Yeah, it is a pleasure to have you today. I was searching for a guest who wants to be a solicitor, and I finally found you, and things fell in place, and that is how we are recording today. Previously I had approached, but people didn't agree to come to the podcast because they have a very busy schedule and everything. So I really appreciate you coming here and doing this with us today.
Thank you very much. I'm pretty much excited and looking forward for this since a long time.
Yeah. So Aniket, you graduated in 2019 with your bachelor's in law degree.
Yes.
And then you went on to do your LLM. So one of the, it is a very common, I think it's a trend in Indian law fraternity that people who want to pursue their masters usually go to UK to pursue their masters and not America. So what is the reason that Indian lawyers prefer to do their LLM from a UK university?
So starting with the primary reason for choosing UK is that India and UK have a long history of legal background, and India is also following common law system just like UK. And since we were a colony at one time, the laws that we follow right now currently in India are mostly adopted from the English law system. And a lot of acts that we study are like literally adopted from the British laws. So what we have studied back in India and what we study here is quite similar and like easy for us to adopt. Like if someone plans to go to US, the US law system is very different from the English and Indian law system. Their law changes from state to state. So I think that's the one major advantage of coming to UK, that you don't take time to adapt to it. You're very much friendly with the scene. You don't require a lot of time to get used to it. You can just go ahead. So I think that's one of the main reasons that why UK is much more beneficial to come and do your post-graduation in law.
So it's like a lot of overlap in terms of the course that are being overlap, right? So Aniket, now my question would be, which is the university that you did your LLM from?
So I studied legal practice course incorporated with an LLM degree, and I did it from the University of Law in London. So this university basically has a lot of the campuses throughout the UK. Same teaching, everything is same, just at different places. So you can plan, the course fees vary from place to place, but overall teaching level is same throughout. So you can plan wherever you want to go, whichever city you want. But ideally, I would prefer London because it's a capital and financial capital as well. So it's better here. Yeah.
And what do you mean? What is the integrated course that you talked about on your way to become a solicitor? You did a LPC plus LLM. So I think it is an outdated system, and new system has come into place on a person's way to become a solicitor. So what was the previous course?
So previously the thing was, so we'll talk about both the situations, like a lawyer qualifying from UK and an international lawyer coming from India or anywhere else to study the legal practice course in UK. So for a student who has studied LLB in UK itself, so for them, they directly qualify after the LLB to study for the legal practice course. So the minimum requirement to qualify for legal practice course is that you should have a law degree in UK.
Okay.
So we coming from India, we have studied law, but we don't have a law degree from UK. So that's why we were forced to study a course called like graduate diploma in law. It was a 9-month course. which from the same university. There's another university called BPP, which also offers the similar courses like University of Law. So basically, in graduate diploma or in law, you study the basic laws, contract, criminal, tort, equity and trust, all those basic laws, and like some of business laws as well, contract law and stuff. And then you, when you qualify from that course, then you are eligible for legal practice course. So you have to study one extra course for before studying the legal practice course. So that makes you, so when you qualify as a legal from GDL, you apply for LPC. And if you, so LPC also has three options. Like you can just do LPC in general, or you can do LPC with an MSc, or you can do LPC with LLM. Basically, it's the same thing, but you study one or two more subjects extra, and you get a master's degree along with it. So what I studied is very different from just an LLM degree, which you do from any other university. So LPC is like completely different route and completely different course, completely different procedure. With an LLM, you don't qualify as a solicitor. Like it's not enough. With an LPC, it's a first step towards becoming a solicitor.
Okay.
So that's how it is.
Now, Aniket, you told me that since you went from India to UK, you had to do a GDL. So doesn't it make sense that only the GD and then you enroll for LPC, or is it compulsory to have an LLM along with LPC?
So basically, just like how in India we have 3 years and 5 years law. So in 3 years law, you see people coming from non-law backgrounds changing their field and coming into law, or maybe someone who has studied something else and wants to do a law degree along with it, because like some professions get together, like say CA and LLB. So similarly in GDL, you will find people coming from various backgrounds. Even people in UK switch to GDL because they haven't done LLB. So I had a lot of classmates in my batch that weren't from law background and were from UK. So that's how it helps. Like it's basically like a 3-year law degree, but you do it in 9 months. You study the laws quickly and you're ready for LPC. But we people coming from India who have already done an LLB, it gives us an upper hand because what we are studying in GDL, we have already studied it back in India. The contract law is same. The equity and trust is very similar. Tort is as it is. There's no difference at all. It's literally a textbook copy.
Textbook copy, right?
Yeah.
Now that really causes me to ask this, question is that कि अगर पूरा का पूरा course same है, तो why doesn't UK recognize the Indian 3-year course as a law degree and directly allow students to enroll for LLM LPC?
The reason might be the procedure. The total education structure in UK is different from India. Okay. In India, we just have lectures and exams. Here we don't have lectures, we have workshops. So when I was studying my GDL, we so say a subject is divided in 9 workshops. So say there are 9 different chapters. So first you are a part of a workshop where you have like workshop sheets, which they already give you at the start of the course. And that sheet consists of what you are going to study in this workshop and what preparation you need to do. So you also get a textbook like a thing from your university where you are required to read some stuff before coming for the workshop. So you have all the details about this. You have to read from the textbook, like say 50 pages, and then they have this online training thing. It's an interactive kind of thing. Sometimes you have lectures online. So you have to listen to that, and then you have to answer some questions to understand that how you have read and studied and how much you have understood. You have to apply it there. So you have, like here, you have to do the homework before coming to the workshop, not like after going back. So you have to do your homework, then come to the workshop. The professor is not going to teach you things here. He already expects that you have learned and read everything that you need to know. He teaches you how to apply it.
Okay.
So in the workshop, you have cases like a paragraph or thing. You have to read it, and we sit in groups in the classroom. We don't sit like individually. So every table is given different tasks, different questions, and you have to solve it together. So
Wow.
he might ask any one of you to get up and just explain. So we have a whiteboard as well. So whatever our group is discussing, we have to write it down on the whiteboard over there. And then one person explains how it is. And if he is wrong or whatever, he will ask another group to correct it. So that's how the whole class is interacting with each other. And each and every individual needs to study and come, because if you don't do the pre-workshop study, you won't understand anything in the workshop, because he's not going to teach you. He's going to teach you how to apply. So I think that must be one of the major reasons why they are not recognizing any other. It's not about that they're not accepting like law degrees from India. It's just that they don't want any, like they want to do their own. They want you to study from their own procedure. So in India, as you know, we just have lectures, and then we just go and write the answers in exam. Like you question and answer, that's it. Here we don't have question and answers. We just have assignments, and whatever exams we have, it's the same as the workshops. We have cases and we have to apply.
Okay,
And
that's a really
they don't expect us to by heart the laws. They don't expect us to like in India, we have to learn the laws and we have to write section this is so and so. It's not expected here, because in reality, when you're practicing, you are not expected. After years of practice, you gradually know, okay, this section is this. We just talk in, like when you're in profession, we just talk in form so and so, section so and so, or case so and so. We just keep talking about that through experience. Here, it's not expected that. When you're studying, when you're writing an exam, you can take your book for legal practice course. It's an open book course. You carry your own material, and you can open the books and search for the answers and write it down, because in the end, at the end of the day, they just want you to learn how to apply.
okay.
They don't want you to learn the laws.
Got it.
Learn how to apply the laws. So that's one of the major differences in like teaching methods.
Wow. So that's a really great way to teach laws. Okay.
Yeah.
Because now that we have already graduated from an Indian university, it's true that it is more of just learn that by heart the theory, and you can appear for your exams, do very well, and you will be considered or looked at as a very intelligent lawyer. But when you
Yeah.
hit the industry, it is a different game altogether.
Right.
Now that also makes sense from a US perspective, that they don't want lawyers who are becoming lawyers on the basis of a power of their rote memory. They want
Yeah.
lawyers who are intelligent enough to be able to grasp what is the law and to be applied in a real life situation, because that is what is more
Right.
important. And that makes like a that makes a sound decision as well. Now, when you
Yeah.
said that LPC is a open book course, so what do you mean by open book course?
So basically, University of Law is offering LPC as an open book course. Other
Okay.
universities are not. So for open book course, you can carry your own soft copy if you're doing an online exam. But now I think the online exams are gone. We are back to offline exams. So you can carry the material, you can print whatever you write during your workshops. You have written it on your laptop, you have solved everything. You can print them out, you can bring them to the exam. You can carry the books that were provided by the university, whatever books they are allowed. Like say, books written by some authors, you take it from the library, you can bring that. And you have the question paper, you have the answer sheet. You can carry your books, take your time, read everything, make your own answer, apply it yourself. Everything is allowed. No
Oh,
devices
wow.
allowed. You cannot, if you're in an exam hall, you cannot use your phone or anything to research. You cannot search online. whatever you bring to the exam hall in like physical uh, books or notes, you can do that. Soft copy is not allowed in the exam hall. But if you are doing an online exam, so they had this software where they used to, uh, what do you call it? Proctored exams. So you had to sit in a room. Nobody can come in the room. If in your house, try to ask and anyone not to disturb. They're recording the voice and video, and you had an option to upload your soft copy notes if you want to use it. Like since you were typing online on the I mean on the computer, so you might want to copy and paste something or anything. So they allowed us to submit our notes online on that software, and then you could access it over there. Or if you don't want it, you can still use your books similarly, and they'll just be watching you through the.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
So whatever material you have used during your course, everything is allowed for your exam.
I mean, now that you're narrating your entire experience, I think it must have been totally out of the world for you and as well as me right now, that essay exams de sakte hai, like open book, and at the same time we don't have
Yeah,
to
I
learn the
experienced both.
laws.
Yeah.
Uh,
I've learned the laws in India. I came here and I learned how to apply them and not learn the laws.
right.
And then I studied. I gave exams in the both ways as well. I gave offline exams as well, online exams.
Online exam as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Aniket, when you went to London in 2019 to pursue your LLM,
Yeah.
obviously you must have had some expectations कि London में कैसा होगा, cultural wise, even with university wise. And when you went there, things must have been different, than you expecting it. So first of all, in terms of university, inside the university, how was your experience with professors, with your peers who are coming from different countries as well?
Yeah. So I'll compare it in two aspects. So first aspect is that since I'm coming to study LPC and not LLM, so a lot of friends who came to study LLM, they had a lot of Indian friends in their classroom and a lot of people from Indian subcontinent, from Pakistan and everywhere. So because even laws in Pakistan are similar. So we have a lot of Pakistani students coming in as well. So for them, like they had a lot of known people like whom like you can relate.
Okay.
When I entered my LPC classroom or GDL classroom, I think 95% were from UK, couple of people from here and there, and hardly me or like one or two people from India, because people are still not aware about the legal practice course and that point of view of getting into legal profession in UK. Mostly people are coming for LLM, so people are not aware about these courses and this route. And talking about other courses like any other like business background or science or engineering background, we have a lot of people coming from India. So even when they go to uni, they find a lot of Indian, they have this Indian community groups in their university. I never had one. I hardly
Okay.
had one or two Indian friends throughout my university time. So there was a lot of cultural difference, lot of, you come across a lot of people from different backgrounds around Europe, because since like I also came across a lot of people from around Europe who came to UK to study law. So I didn't come across just the people from UK. Yeah, I know people from Spain. I know people from France. So I encountered a lot of cultural difference while I studied the LPC. And I was like minority for a change.
Yeah, I mean, just to build on that, so obviously now you also have many people who went to abroad, either to pursue their masters in engineering and everything. I also have a
Yeah.
lot of friends who are in, US and Canada. So one common scenario or a happening that they always point out is that अगर Indians दूसरे country में जा रहे हैं for masters, okay, then their usual tendency is to always hang out with Indians only.
Yeah.
कैसा अरे same country का है भाई है, or in that, I mean,
Yeah.
which is not wrong also, people, because people want to have a feeling of belonging when they
Yeah,
are in an
they
unknown
don't want to
place.
feel homesick.
Yes, homesick. So
Yeah,
that also makes
yeah,
sense. But the other perspective to this would be ke agar like you are in UK, so obviously you might have some plans to be in UK for a longer period of time. So it is really necessary to be acquainted with the local people as well, more acquainted I would say, rather than
yeah,
than the Indians, because it makes sense कि उन लोग वहाँ
yeah,
काफी सालों से रह रहे हैं, तो कोई भी
right.
प्रॉब्लम हुआ या कोई ऐसी कोई चीज है, दिस इज कोई प्राइस के रिलेटेड इश्यू कि अच्छा ये चीज यहाँ पे महंगी मिलती है लेकिन दूसरी जगह पे सस्ती मिलती है, these
Mm-hmm.
minor things, it is only the locals who can point out, or the natives who can point out कि अच्छा don't do this, you can do that.
Right.
So this is something that I've watched, and I think if somebody will be listening to this, even my suggestion and my preference will be to hang out or be associated with people who are not from your own nationality. Not that I'm
Yeah,
saying that you don't completely isolate yourself from that your own nationality, but try to stick around
yeah,
with these people more, because that will give you more
yeah,
learnings as well. And
yeah.
in terms of teaching, how was your experience? Like, were you really happy with the professors giving or molding you into a future aspiring solicitor, or were there always के नहीं कि जो भी करना है खुद कर लो, ऐसा कुछ attitude था?
So talking about professors, they're very professional. They don't interfere like too much into your curriculum. You can always go and ask them for help, and they're happy to help. They're very friendly. But in terms of like teaching and everything, very professional. They stick to their lines. They know how much to teach, and beyond that, it's up to you how much you want to get from them. So, but if you go and ask them for like more in detail study, or if you have any doubts, most welcome. You can always contact them. And but they won't be pushing you.
Okay.
They won't be expecting that, oh, you need to study. No, little bit here and there they will say, okay, if you're not answering the class, you need to push. They will do that. But beyond that, very professional teaching, very experienced professors everywhere. And I had a overall like great experience. They help you like even outside your curriculum. If you ask them, like if you ask them for uh, any like job requirement, like how do you apply, how do you prepare, they will help with that as well, and like as much as they can. So one thing I've noticed here in UK is that no one will go beyond their expertise and help you. If it's not their expertise, they will clearly tell you, I'm not the right person, because they don't want to guide you in the wrong way. They don't want to give you wrong information. They don't want to be liable for anything. This is one thing I've noticed that's very different from the culture in India. इंडिया में कैसा है, अरे मैंने पूछा था इसको, पता है मुझे, तू ऐसा ही कर ले, हो जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं है, जितना पता है उतना ही. They will like very professional in terms of that. And teaching wise, different approach. Every professor has a different approach, but same style of teaching that is followed in UK, the workshop and lecture thing. But overall, it was very great. Yeah,
I understand. So yeah, this is a major difference, because this term that you told me, okay, I'm not the right person to I'm not the right person to talk on this, is a sentence that
yeah,
I've heard many times from people who have been come out of this kind of curriculum, the
yeah,
one that you're talking about, कि जितना मुझे आता है उतना ही बोला, I'm not going to have this, you know I would say, I'm not getting the right word, कि अगर नहीं आता है तो मैं बोल दूंगा
yeah.
नहीं आता, I won't be
Expertise नहीं है मेरा
embarrassed.
उस चीज में.
Yeah.
Yeah,
कि
yeah,
ऐसा
they did not
I'm not
embarrass at all.
embarrassed to say कि मुझे ये चीज नहीं आती है, नहीं आती है तो नहीं आती है, that
Yeah,
makes sense. Wow.
yeah,
Now, this is, ये तो हमने करिकुलम की बात कर ली कि ऐसा करिकुलम में ये है, कल्चर में ये है. And even culture in the universities are different, but outside of the university, okay, since you are into a new place completely, what are the cultural differences that you thought were really um I would say mind blowing कि अच्छा ये तो totally different है जो आज तक मुझे पता था उससे कुछ काफी अलग है ये तो.
The first thing that comes to my mind is civic sense,
Okay.
because as we know, we Indians are not very good at civic sense. And the one thing I noticed here is like everything is systematic. People are accountable for everything. Like once I was at a bus stop, and this is one experience, and the bus driver didn't stop. He was supposed to stop there. It was his stop, but he didn't stop. He skipped it. Next moment, I see a man was waiting for the same bus next to me. He noted down the bus number. He immediately contacted the Transport for London office, and he reported that this so and so bus driver with so and so bus number, he was supposed to stop at this bus stop at this time, and he didn't, because of which I faced inconvenience. And they everything is accountable. Like even if say you are traveling by underground and there's a signal failure and you have to wait for some time. If your journey should be complete in 20 minutes, but it didn't complete in 20 minutes, you took 40 minutes. Your journey, the transaction that you have paid, it will be refunded. Your ticket will be refunded.
Wow.
Just because it was a delay from their end, you have faced inconveniences. So everything is accountable, and like people are bothered. Like if this something is not right, they report it. It's like everyone is made accountable for the things that they are not doing. So even if you litter somewhere on streets of London, there are wardens will come and fine you, and you cannot bribe and escape.
Okay.
They will give you a receipt. And there will be a time before which you have to pay online. So they don't take any cash. They don't give you a receipt. They'll just make a note of your details, and you'll receive an email saying that, oh, you're liable to pay this much fine. Go on this link on the council website. You have to pay the fine there. You have like within 30 days, if you pay, you have to pay the same amount. If you don't pay, that amount is double. After 180 days, if you still don't pay, there'll be a court case for that thing, for not paying the fine.
Wow. So
So
like quite very much law abiding.
yeah, obviously there are like many negatives as well. You don't see everyone following it, but majority of them, yeah,
do follow. Right.
yeah.
No,
So
this is like we talk about the civic sense, and then the related part would be the Indians who are living in London. Like, do they have
yeah,
like a complete? Do they also follow these civic sense, or some are still fine with their कि नहीं भाई नहीं करेंगे तो चल जाएगा, like वो चल जाएगा वाला जो attitude है वो ऐसा follow करता है.
so if you are in central London or around like zone 1, 2, 3, 4, you won't find anything like this. But if you go a bit away from London, where you find Indian community living, sometimes if you still walk there, you will find a pawn shop. You will still find people spitting on the street. you'll still find signboards which say "Do not spit here." So yeah, it's still there.
Right.
You
Aniket,
can take Indian out of India. You can't take
the
India out
Indian
of
out
India.
of it.
Yeah.
Rightly said. So, Aniket, one of the most striking or the common question that people get asked when they travel to London is about accents. So, when you went to UK, so was there like a mandatory thing कि British accent आना चाहिए? Because even I have been following the UK culture because I am going to Birmingham for my masters. At least on YouTube, I can say that there are many accents that people speak in UK.
Yeah.
So obviously you're not expected to know all the accents, but when you go to London, when you step on the
Yeah.
UK land for the first time, how much are you expected to be aware of the accent? At least in speaking, चलो समझने को तो हम समझ भी जाए, but बोलने के लिए.
So the basic British accent is very different from the local accent. Like very similar to India. Like if you speak to someone from Mumbai in Hindi and someone from Delhi, the accent is a bit different. Same language with different accents. So similarly in UK, the Scouse accent from Liverpool is very different Birmingham accent is different. Mancunian from Manchester accent is different. I mean, by different, I mean there's a slight change of dialect as well. The use
Hmm.
of words is different. The use of slangs, phrases, way different. So I met someone from Liverpool once. It was when I was working part time. I met someone as a customer, and he was from Liverpool, and I he said the same thing 5 times to me, and I couldn't
Hmm.
understand what he was saying
Okay.
because the accent is so different from any other accent. It's, so, but what like talking about professional, you don't fake British accent. You're not expected. People do. Like I've seen people coming here to UK studying. 1 month down the line, British accent coming in. No, it's fake. It, okay, you want to learn, you want to try, you want to learn the right accent of speaking English. Fine, that's good. But and professionally, they expect you, like in the field of law as well. Like I've heard that law firms want you to learn the British accent because when you are speaking to a client, you are the face of the company, and like sometimes they find it difficult to understand our accent, the Indian accent. They sometimes they don't understand.
Hmm.
Some of the pronunciations are different, so that's why they expect, or at least they want us to. I can't say expect, but at least they want us to learn the right accent so
Hmm.
that the communication is better for the sake of communication. It's not the uh, style thing or like you
Hmm.
know okay, I'm in UK now, I need to speak like that. No, it's not that.
Hmm.
It's more about communicating.
Right.
So and I'm damn sure that the accent doesn't come in 1 or 2 years at least. You can keep
Okay.
trying, you can keep getting better,
Hmm. Hmm.
but you
Hmm.
cannot. I will say don't fake it.
Okay.
Try to learn. Yeah, it's important. It's important because you don't want to stand out from everyone else by speaking different English. You want to
Hmm.
blend in. That is one reason. And like people, like in India, people take it very wrongly when someone has an accent. If
Hmm.
someone is speaking with a, oh, ek saal mein aa gaya accent, 2 saal mein aa gaya accent. It's not that. You have to blend in. Everywhere you go, you have to blend in. You
Hmm.
have to be one among them.
Correct. See, ये हुआ है. So I have one of my friends in US who has done his engineering, and so क्या होता है कि वहाँ पे he was told actually कि it is better to learn the American accent, okay, for
Yeah,
work purpose at least. Now
yeah.
what happened is that obviously he must be speaking in the American accent in his workplace. But
Hmm.
but he did a very smart thing. I wouldn't say smart, it is something that a common sense thing also कि अगर तुम्हें कोई accent आता है, like you're in British, okay, you're in UK,
Hmm.
you may be knowing British accent. तो भी उसका मतलब
Hmm.
ये नहीं है कि तू हर जगह पे ही ब्रिटिश एक्सेंट के साथ बात करे. Now right now
Yeah,
you're talking to me,
use it where you want. Yeah,
you said
yeah.
where you
Use it
want
where
it, so
yeah, yeah.
it where के तो इतना भी common से, I mean people who fake it, they don't want to accept it कि अच्छा जहाँ पे जरूरी है वहां पे use करते हैं. Okay, अगर करते भी हो कि there obvious reason, like one reason that I have heard that people who use accent where it is not required is that it is a good practice. Now if you are talking to me in a British accent and I am not accustomed to the accent, तो मैं समझूंगा कि how can I give you a feedback also कि what you speaking is wrong,
Yeah.
right?
To, I
And
mean, if I'm speaking to someone in India, I don't need to do that. But if I'm speaking to my classmate or someone, I would try
hmm,
because in my first few months, I used to speak in my normal accent,
hmm,
and somewhere or the other, they find it difficult to understand. They have to ask you twice. Sometimes even you don't get what they are saying because
hmm,
you are still getting used to the accent. And when you go to a uni, you have people coming from different places in UK, so everyone has a different accent, different slangs, different phrases. And in UK, they use way lot of phrases, and you have no idea what they're talking about. You have no idea, absolutely no idea, because they have this habit. I don't know why they have this habit of using like phrases and slangs in their normal day-to-day life. Like even if you're having a normal conversation, they use phrases, and you have to ask, sorry, I don't know the meaning. Can you please explain?
So like what are the common phrases that you can talk about?
Uh,
Getcha?
so I think they use phrases like knackered or dodgy. Dodgy means basically suspicious.
Oh, okay.
So I've heard this word before, but I've never used it like so frequently. And say that there are some words for even like if someone is drunk and they can't walk. There's so many different words they use. Like like if you listen to that word, you want to be even to able to relate that this word may be anywhere close to what it means. Way way different from
What we
what they
know.
say and what they mean. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got it, got it. So, okay, you have told कि अच्छा. So, if you right now you're in central London, you said. So, what is the accent that जो normal British accent है वो कैसा होता है और with the other ones which are not so fond of. So,
So
what is something that you're expected to
the
learn
accent,
when you say?
so the accent they use in London is the normal British accent, the standard one,
Okay, okay,
the
got it.
professional one which they use.
Hmm.
And जो स्काउस एक्सेंट है या बर्मिंगम एक्सेंट है या कॉर्नवॉल कॉर्निश एक्सेंट है, कॉर्निश और कॉर्निश तो बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंट है, मतलब यू वोंट इवन रियलाइज दैट ही इज स्पीकिंग इंग्लिश.
Okay.
सो ये सारे एक्सेंट्स है वो आई थिंक दे आर यूज्ड इन डे टू डे लाइफ.
Hmm.
आई थिंक इवन व्हेन दे like work professionally, they would be speaking normal English. They won't use
Okay.
those phrases that are there, but then still a slight bit of accent comes in.
Got it.
They use, yeah, so that's the difference. So basically overall wherever you go, if you speak London accent, they a northerner will quickly know that you are not from northern part of UK, you are from the
Okay.
south, you are from around London.
Got it. Now, and when you say that
Yeah,
normal British accent, so and this is a term that I've heard, it is called posh accent. So it is the same as posh accent.
yeah. It's
Okay,
the
got
same
it.
that you see in movies, TV series, everywhere you see.
Everywhere. And yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean that is a great way to go ahead with this. K, how much does we? Dekho, I have been watching uh, the British stand-up comedians a lot, and I can name them. One
Hmm.
is Ricky Gervais,
Yeah.
Jimmy Carr, then Daniel Sloss. Obviously, he's Scottish, but he like there is some क्या बोलते हैं influence of the British accent on him,
Yeah.
and watching shows also. So how much does
Hmm.
those watching those series or stand-up comedians help in knowing कि अच्छा I can speak this way कि अगर मुझे बोलना भी नहीं आता है at least मैं समझ सकता हूँ.
हाँ, मतलब how these shows help is that when you listen to them, you know that's okay, this word is pronounced in this way, but I have been pronouncing all my life in this way. So it's a good way to learn the right pronunciations. But while saying it, it obviously comes with practice. Now, if you're starting to learn or practice British accent, the first time you say it, and after 6 months you say it, the same word will be different because you're getting better and better at it.
Okay.
So watching these shows, watching the movies, watching people talk, watching podcasts, everything is going to help because that's how you're going to learn how to speak. And obviously, when you come here, you speak to the local people, like day-to-day conversations. That makes it better.
Right.
So you
Now,
learn every day.
yeah, now this is like that you have given quite a bit on the cultural differences. Now we'll move to the
Yeah,
part where, if I'm not wrong, only about a year ago, becoming solicitor has been like centralized, if I'm not wrong, with the with the commencement of solicitor qualifying exam
the exam. Yeah.
and QLTS, if I'm not wrong, that is what they say.
So QLTS has always been there,
Mm-hmm.
but they scrapped it a couple of years ago. Now I think they decided to scrap it a couple of years ago, and I think last year June was the last attempt for it. I guess June or something. I'm not sure about it because I wasn't preparing or
Mm-hmm.
working on it. But that was the last attempt that was available, like or last application. Like that was the last. So after that, you can give a few more attempts and that's it, I guess, something like that. And they have also scrapped the graduate diploma in law. So slowly what they want is people coming from outside UK, they want them to study the SQE straight away. So SQE will be like a merger of LPC and QLTS, I guess. And so वहाँ पे क्या होगा कि you're not anymore wasting time on 9 months of GDL course, and you straight away start whatever is needed. You just qualify for that course with whatever requirements are there, and it's a like very different course from your general GDL and LPC.
Right. So we'll get into the
Yeah.
details of the latest SQE in the following part. But before we start that, ये जो QLTS था, तो वो क्या था? And I'll tell you what I have understood so far about QLTS. QLTS stands for Qualified Lawyer Transfer Scheme. Qualifying Lawyer Transfer Scheme. Right.
Yeah.
And उसमें मैंने जितना LinkedIn पे observe किया था, वो क्या था कि like I am an Indian lawyer, right? And I am in Dubai right now. और अगर मैं वो QLTS एग्जाम दे दूं without even pursuing any LLM or GDL जो LPC है, so I can directly become a solicitor. Is that right?
Yeah.
So that was QLTS, right?
Yeah, that was QLTS. But still, like as compared to QLTS and LPC, I would still choose LPC because you go through a university, they teach you, you learn everything. In QLTS, there is nothing, no teaching. I mean, there are teaching options available, but then it's not like a proper uni thing. You apply for the course, you get the material, you study that, give the exam, and you pass.
Got it.
So, but through LPC, there's a procedure that you had to study the GDL first, then you study the 9-month LPC, and then before qualifying as a solicitor, you have to do a 2-year training contract with a law firm, which is very critical and which is the most important part and most difficult part in your route to becoming a solicitor.
Right. Now we'll start off with SQE. Now, okay, why was SQE introduced? Was it for the ease of students who want to become solicitor but cannot come to London, or there is some other reason for introducing SQE?
Someone referring to this website Chamber Student, where you can read everything about how to become a lawyer in UK. So here's a flowchart which shows the timeline and how, like, what is the next step, and it also shows the dates here. But this shows 2020 because this is talking about GDL and LPC, which is no more valid now. So GDL is completely scrapped. So let's just look at it. So it says October, November, you start looking into law firms and you start attending career fairs and events. Then you apply for vacation schemes. So vacation schemes is basically like you, so every law firm comes out with their vacation schemes. So you work there during your vacation, as it says. And they offer you like 2 weeks, 3 weeks working experience in the law firm. They pay you for it, the good amount of pay. And basically this is the first step towards the training contract. So if you have done a vacation scheme in a law firm, they know how you're working. And sometimes after the vacation scheme, they might even offer you a training contract.
Okay.
So now next step is that you apply for vacation scheme, and if possible, apply for spring and summer vacation scheme. And then you apply for your GDL in January 2021. You have some training contract deadlines and vacation scheme deadlines, which you can apply again. And then you start your final year of degree, it says, start GDL. So the left side is basically talking about law students, and this side is talking about non-law students.
Non-law students,
but
okay.
Even we being law students, we still come in non-law graduates because we are not law graduates from UK.
Correct.
So we start here, apply for GDL in January 2021, and then you start your GDL. You finish your GDL, and then you start your LPC in September 2022, because it's a 9-month course. So if you start your GDL in 2021 September, your LPC next will be in September 2022.
Correct.
And then you finish your LPC, you keep applying for training contracts. If you have already got one, then as soon as you finish your LPC, you'll be starting your training contract when it starts. So ideally, training contract applications start 2 years before. So right now, the deadlines that are going on are for 2024 onwards.
Okay, so you're 2 years for the people who are pursuing their bachelor's of law in UK, not for us. It is a different.
No. So training contract applications are on throughout the year. So
Okay.
all the different law firms have their different training contract deadlines. So you have to apply before that date. So all the training contract applications are running 2 years in advance. So right now what you're applying is for 2 years later.
Okay.
So basically that the logic is that when you're in third year LLB, you apply for your training contract, you start applying, say you get it that time. So you finish your third year, then you study your LPC, and then when you qualify your LPC, you start your training contract. So
Start
that's why
training
the 2 years.
immediately. Got
Yeah.
it.
So that's why the 2 years difference, because that makes it easier.
Correct.
So for us as GTL, you have to start applying when you do your GDL or before that. So say if you manage to get a training contract even before starting your GDL. Now law firms even sponsor your GDL and LPC. If not, if you're already a lawyer in UK, then they will sponsor your LPC. If you land a training contract, but it depends from what the law firm is offering. Every law firm offers different. Some of them sponsor it, some of them don't. So this is the stage. This is the procedure. Yeah.
Correct.
Now coming back to SQE. So this is a chart which shows how SQE works. So talking about qualifying law degree, say you already are a lawyer in UK.
Correct.
LLB in UK. So your first step is SQE1 prep. So that will be some basic law courses that you will be studying there. Then you give that exam. When you qualify, then this is 24-month legal work experience is same as training contract. So now SQE is making things a bit easier as compared to training contract, because here it says you can work as a paralegal or in a law clinic or a sandwich course. So it's not necessary that you have to land a training contract to qualify as a solicitor. You just have to gather 24-month legal work experience, which also the most important part is paralegal. So this part making a big difference in SQE and LPC.
Okay. Now I have a question. A sandwich course. What is the meaning of sandwich course?
I have no clue about sandwich course because this is something new to me as well.
Okay. So we'll leave that for now. Now my next question would be, now that SQE has come. Okay. Now let's take my example over here. I will be completing my master's in September 2023. Okay, next year, which is. Now, after qualifying, let's say I get a job at one of the law firms as a paralegal. Okay, and I worked there for 2 years. So now, ये जो 2 साल का मेरा experience होगा, will that be counted for this as 24 month, or it will be like अगर पहले exam qualify करो और फिर जो 24 months हो गए वो valid होंगे?
So as it shows on the chart, your first step is you pass SQE1 and then you do the 24 months legal experience. So I don't think if you have done any legal work experience before counts, because this is not just a 24-month legal work experience, that like a normal one. So basically training contract or ये कैसे चलता है कि in your 12 or 24 months, you work in 4 different departments for 6 months each.
Okay.
So when you are in a training contract in a law firm, you spend 6 months in different departments. So you know different departments, how they work, and then you qualify as a solicitor. So training contract, if you are interested in corporate and like business law, it's not that all 24 months you'll spend doing that. You'll be doing different things. They'll be teaching you different things. So the purpose of training contract is very similar to articleship in India. For after CA, when you finish your IPCC, you move to articleship. It's very similar concept where you are gathering practical experience before even qualifying as a CA. Similarly, before qualifying as a solicitor, you're a trainee solicitor and you are gathering experience. You are learning what you have learned, how it works. So that's the main purpose. Yeah.
Okay, so first is like qualifying law degree, which is a bachelor's of law from a UK university. Non-law degree applies to us. What is the third option, which qualifying law degree plus SQE1 prep?
I think it's the same as the first one, but maybe it's for maybe a different LLB course where they're planning to bring in like just similar to LPC and LLM, they're planning to bring LLB and SQE together. So maybe in 3 years of LLB, you are also studying an SQE, or maybe like I know University of Law is offering some course where you are also studying the SQE.
Okay.
So by this, like when you're studying a course in University of Law from India, you come to UK, study that course, and you also prepare for SQE. So that makes it qualifying law degree and your prep. So the first one is just an LLB. The second option is what I told you right now. The third option is non-law degree, and then so basically SQE is offering a non-law degree as well. Like if you are not from a law degree background, then you have to do extended SQE prep. So basically it's like GDL plus LPC. If you're getting what I say, you do an extended course to get used to law for non-lawyers.
Non-lawyers. Now, so I know someone like from LinkedIn who has done her bachelor's in from Middlesex University, and then she's working currently. So this experience that she'll be having before what do you say, passing the SQE1. So how much will that experience be of importance in getting this training contract? Does that have any impact, or जो SQE1 के बाद contract होता है, that is totally different?
Any experience before qualifying is good, because law firms know that okay, someone had hired you before and you have been used to the work. You have used like you are used to the work experience and the way the law firms work before even qualifying as a lawyer or before even starting your SQE. So that gives you a slightly upper hand that will show that you have some experience. So you won't be like you will be a fresher, but with some experience.
Okay, got it. We can again this clears up how the new SQE system is working. Okay, and
now that we look at it, I think they're trying to make it even better, and you have to study a bit more maybe, but the training contract pressure that creates on students, I think that will be a bit easier, because this will allow that you won't be tied up with one law firm for 24 months, since it says paralegal and law clinic experience. That allows you to work in different law firms. So say you worked in 4 different law firms and spent 6 months being a paralegal. That also qualifies for this. So you won't be anymore tied up in a training contract.
Okay. So we've even if we change the firms, it is fine.
Yeah. In the end, you just have to get 24 months qualified legal experience.
Got it. Yeah. You can stop sharing the screen now. Yeah. So now that we have discussed the latest SQE as well, after somebody qualifies as a solicitor, what is a solicitor in मतलब उसका मतलब क्या है कि solicitor is like an advocate जो हम इंडिया में बोलते हैं, या solicitor is somebody at a bigger status than an advocate?
So talking about work wise, it's very similar to what we have like advocates and counsels.
Okay.
So just like a counsel is the one who argues in a high court, advocate doesn't like generally go and argue in the main cases. Like they do go for hearings and they do talk in the court, but not during the main trials or anything like that. So a solicitor is the one who does all the background work.
Okay.
They do obviously go and argue in the court, or they do have some authorities and powers. But the main purpose of solicitor is like here in UK, the law system is like before going to the court, the court wants you to go to a solicitor and try to solve the matter outside the court. So that's where a solicitor plays a part. Like so say you and me have a disagreement over some contract. You go to a solicitor, I go to a solicitor. They both meet and discuss, and they try to find a midpoint where we can solve the issue. And if like one of the parties still thinks that it is not solvable, or it's still not worth it, or you're still having a loss or whatever, then you can go to a court and go ahead with the case and like try to solve it via the court. Because when you're applying for the court always questions that why didn't you solve this outside? Why did you come to me? They will always try to find. And if you fail to provide a valid reason, you will be fined, and the court will not listen to your argument, and it will pass a judgment, preliminary judgment, before even going ahead with the court.
Okay.
So the court doesn't want you to come to it for silly reasons. Try to solve it outside as much as possible. If you cannot, then I've listened to this from like a lot of law friends from law background in India who are working, that even when there are some things in the contract which clearly say that, okay, this needs to be done, or we need to solve this via arbitration or something. I might get a lot of hate for this, but there are a lot of lawyers in India who still promote just for the sake of money and fooling the clients that no, let's go to the court, let's file a case,
let's
and
go into litigation
we'll try
directly.
to they push litigation. Even when it's there on the contract, they will not promote it. They will not ask the client, they will not guide the client in the right way. They still want to promote litigation, they still want to waste time, they want to earn more money, they want to waste clients' money. So this is what I found a major difference.
So all in all, so the work of a solicitor is acting like a personal counsel only to the client. And if things don't go well, then only they take the next step of going to the court.
Yes. Yes. So basically, solicitor does everything for building a case. Right from scratch, they do the work of building the case. They try to solve the matter before going to court, and his job is basically to guide you to whatever solution you want.
Okay. And what do you call the people who appear in court? Like solicitor is like you said, like an arbitrator, I would say. Oh, okay, they're called barristers. Okay.
Yes.
And
so there's a different course for becoming a barrister. It's called bar practice course.
Okay.
So it's a different. It's similar to LPC, but like a different route.
And for that, I think you'll have to appear for the bar exam of the UK, whichever.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So is it compulsory for a solicitor and barrister to wear those wigs that are shown? Is it still a practice?
It's at the, like, not all the courts have to wear them. Like you have different courts where you have to wear them, and only like for different maybe authorities you have to wear. Like if you are at that level, you have to wear it. If the judges do have to wear that. So not everyone wears it. It's very similar to what we see in India, like a suit and that's it, and maybe robe. Yeah.
Okay, so even a solicitor does not have to wear. My barrister got
No,
obviously
no,
it's an
not all of
option.
them. Not all of them.
Not that.
Yeah.
Now, Aniket, you have really given a really, important and valuable information about how to become a solicitor and everything. We'll be moving to the last part of this, which is the most important part, of starting this journey, which are the finances and the living cost.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if somebody is aspiring to, aspiring to start his, a master's in law from UK and then take the whichever course that is convenient for him or her to become the solicitor.
Mhm.
How much is the finances that is needed, and what is the living cost and everything?
So the procedure is that first, when you apply for the course, you are asked to pay some amount of fees, some percentage of the fees, and then while applying for the visa, they ask you to show, like if you are going via private fund, then you have to show the remaining part of the fees plus the living expenses that is required by the government of UK. So at the moment, the living expenses expected by the government of UK is 1334 per month. So say if you're studying a course for a year, so you have to show the remaining part of the fees that you haven't paid plus 1334 into 12. So that's
Okay.
the total amount that you are expected to show in your account before applying for the visa and finalizing your course. So, but if you're going via a student loan or something, then a sanction letter from the bank is enough, because that shows that you have an approved loan and your bank has allowed you to get that amount.
Okay.
But if you're going via private fund, you have to show that money for about 28 days. Now, some of the universities, they, before giving you the confirmation of acceptance, they also ask you to show that money in 28 days just before the CAS. The University of Law required that. So I went by a private fund, and so that's why I had to show that amount before even getting the CAS. Once I got the CAS, I could apply for the visa, and for visa I had to keep it for another 28 days, or minimum 28 days before applying for the visa, and you have to keep it until your visa arrives. That is what is advised by the university and the consultants.
What is the CAS that
So
you're talking about?
CAS is basically confirmation of acceptance statement, which
Okay.
which shows your name, your uh, application number, all your details about the course, when is the start date, the end date, the total amount of fees, what is the level of your course. So all the details about your course, which university will you be studying at, where is the campus, where is the address, all these letters. So this details are important for the visa. Without this CAS letter, you cannot apply for a visa.
Okay. Okay.
So
And
this is you get when you completely qualify for your university.
okay.
Like
And
your application
when
is
yeah,
yeah.
now the question would be, like you said that 1334 is the minimum that is required for to be shown.
Yeah.
Now, we
Yeah.
somebody hasn't been able to reflect that in that certain period. ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं है पैसा, but आने वाला है पैसा, like future inflow है. और उसने like if he shows or he or she shows कि मेरे पास like 1200 pounds है या 1250 वाला है, तो does that work? Yeah, it is very strict कि
No, it
1334
doesn't.
for the
It doesn't. It
1334.
doesn't. This is the minimum amount that you need to show. Now, to be honest, this is not the amount that you will be spending.
Correct.
This is not your expense. Now, it depends. Some people go in for a student accommodation around central London because they don't want to waste time in traveling and stuff. So their rent alone must be this much. Leaving alone the your like any other expenses. Rent alone will be this much.
My God.
But
Okay.
depends from person to person. If you're wise enough, you choose a right property, not much far away from your uni. So you can even spend less than this amount for a month being a student. You are also allowed to work 20 hours a week on your student visa. So you can work part-time, make some money. But this amount is a must when you are applying. This cannot be less than this. You cannot show it to the UKVI or your uni that you are expecting funds in 6 months. Okay, your business is going to make a lot of profits after 6 months or whatever. They don't care about it. During the time, this is the amount that you need to show. So if you're going for a student loan, you can apply for a student loan as in where your university fees plus your living expenses combined together, you can get one like the proper
Lump
loan.
sum amount.
Yeah, and then you can show that letter to the university or UKVI wherever needed.
Right.
But if
And
you're going by private fund, then you have to show this amount plus your fees that is pending in your bank account, which should be in a nationalized bank.
okay.
A cooperative bank is not valid. Also, a loan from cooperative bank is not valid. It should be a nationalized bank. So we need to keep this in mind. And this amount needs to be held for 28 days minimum. So my university asked me to hold it for 28 days before giving the cash to me.
Okay.
So I had to hold it for 2 months, 30 days for university. And when the university gave me the letter, I could apply for the visa. And then I had to hold it for visa as well.
Okay. Okay. And this nationalized bank you're talking about, that do you have to show a the money in a nationalized bank in UK, like a transferred amount, or India account?
No. In India. So basically SBI or any other like government banks, public sector banks, or banks like ICICI, HDFC, Axis Bank, all these are fine. IDBI, all the nationalized banks. Yeah.
Just to make it clear, when you said private funded, so it is like you will be paying the full fees on your own, Vesa?
Yeah, just by like your parents' money or your own money, whatever.
Got it.
Like if your parents are supporting you.
And
so if your parents are supporting you, you need a letter from your parents saying that you will be supporting your child or throughout the education and any other living expenses. You need to just show a letter. It's basically a general letter type and signed by your parents. That's it.
Got it. And are there like any specialized banks in India which specifically give loans for this purpose? या कोई भी बैंक से हम ले सकते हैं, like जिनको लोन लेना है उनके लिए?
Like really it depends on your choice or where you have good relations with the bank or like how much interest they are offering. Some banks are very stringent while offering, like they don't want to the interest rates are high and the percentage they're offering is low against the property or whatever you are like having against. So it really depends on your choice and how you are negotiating with the bank or whatever, like what they are offering and what you need.
Achha, so it's very subjective over here.
Yeah, you can even apply for a personal loan or a student loan. Obviously, student loan is advised.
Got it. And now, okay, even the finances are discussed now. Let's say London आया, ये सब किया. I mean, पढ़ाई कर ली, ये कर लिया. When somebody graduates, okay, what is like an estimated package that is, expected? Like a minimum wage कुछ होगा, maximum कुछ होगा, and that part.
So Manan, for this, maybe we can share the screen. I will again go back to.
Yeah, sure. Oh, wow.
So again, moving to chamber student, this is a chart which says how much you are paid in, like this is the name of law firms, and first year as a trainee, second year as a trainee, and then when you qualify.
Okay.
So
wow,
all these are like the big law firms, Magic Circle law firms. And Magic Circle is basically like in terms of consultancy, we talk about big four. So in terms of law firms in UK, they're called Magic Circle.
So this is like an entire, like I would say, a chart only which says itna salary which can be expected.
Yes.
Got it. It's a great way to, it's not even keeping the people in dark. Acha, you might not, how much you can earn, it is something uncertain.
If you see, they start from as low as 28 to as high as maybe 50 plus for the first year. And as soon as you qualify, finish your first year, the second year, you can see a rise.
significant rise, right?
And when you qualify, the rise is even more.
Got it.
So see, Clifford chance 50,000, 55, and then straight
100. Wow. It's a great source.
So
I mean,
you can,
I guess that this kind of source isn't available in India, where there is an entire chart ke itna, solicitors or lawyers can earn as per their
yeah,
I would say, designation and years in practice.
right.
You can stop sharing now. So we'll just have one last thing. We'll have a look at what is the uh, Magic Circle law firms. So there are a lot of firms which I thought were Magic Circle law firms, but weren't. Yeah. So Allen Overy, Clifford
Clifford
Chance.
chance.
This is something that मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा था, but that's a
No.
huge name. Fresh
Yeah. Oh,
Fields,
Linklaters and Slaughter and May.
Linklaters, right? And
Yeah.
Slaughter and May. So these are the Magic Circle law firms that people should aspire to work at for
Yeah.
to have a fantastic career as a solicitor. Aniket,
Right.
I guess this is everything that you have given us to on how to become a solicitor in England and Wales, and people who want to become, this is a great source on your on knowing the pathway. With that, I mean, it's a thank you for doing this, Aniket, with us, and I really
And
appreciate you
most
coming
welcome.
and taking some time off to record this episode with us.
Yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a great experience, and I'm sure, and I hope I'm able to offer you whatever you needed.
Yes.